The House of Black defeat the Elite to become the AEW World Trios Champions at AEW Revolution. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling, especially after last night's AEW Revolution 2023 pay-per-view from the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. And we have to talk about the brand new AEW World Trios Champions, the House of Black. New AEW World Trios Champions were crowned on Sunday night at the AEW Revolution 2023 pay-per-view. Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King defeated the Elite's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks to become the brand new champions, the first time the faction have held the gold in AEW. Now, House of Black won the title match with Dante's Inferno. The win marks the House of Black's first title reign as the AEW World Trios Champions in AEW, and their first title win in the promotion altogether. It's interesting to note that the House of Black lost in the first round of the AEW World Trios Championship tournament to the Dark Order when we were establishing the inaugural champions. Before losing tonight, or last night rather, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks held the AEW Trios Championship since the January 11th edition of AEW Dynamite. Of course, the Elite defeated Death Triangle in a best-of-7 series to become the champions for the second time during their history. Of course, Omega and the Young Bucks were the first ever AEW World Trios champions. They won the titles at the AEW All Out 2022 pay-per-view, but later had to vacate the titles after the backstage altercation that occurred following that pay-per-view event. Of course, it was a historic pay-per-view for several other reasons, several other title changes taking place, but we are going to focus on the Trios World Championships, and it has led to increased speculation about one Kenny Omega. Of course, Kenny Omega has been rumored that his contract is up later on this year. Actually, his initial AEW contract would have been up by now, but because he spent time on the sidelines due to injury, time has been added onto his contract. But there have been speculation that WWE is circling the cleaner and could be interested in signing the former AEW World Champion once his contract expires later this year. And at the post-AEW Revolution media scrum, AEW President Tony Khan was asked about the future of Kenny Omega in AEW, including his contract status. While the question noted, there had been rumours that there could be a contract extension placed on Omega related to time off for rehabilitation due to several surgeries, the answer from Khan rather served as a glowing review of Omega's time in AEW. On Kenny Omega, Tony Khan said a host of positive things about Omega, including noting that he's done everything you can do as a champion in AEW, I guess apart from the TNT Championship. Not that Omega is done with AEW, however, as Khan went on to elaborate, he hopes quite the opposite. He said, quote, "I hope he's here for a very long time." Of course, that came on the back of them dropping their championships to the House of Black earlier on in the evening. And to be honest, it was the right call, in my opinion. I think that this was one of those situations whereby the energy going into this one was the House of Black can't lose, because if they lose, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing. The Trios division in AEW is a really interesting division because you don't have it in WWE. Of course, you had it in Ring of Honor for a long period of time, and you've had it in other promotions. But in terms of a major North American promotion, we haven't really seen that sort of Trios division. And like any tag team division, the crux of the success of any tag division, is teams, and it's teams being successful. And the House of Black, they've got a great look, they've got a great entrance, they've got great ambience, they've got great workers. I mean, they've got real top quality workers. And you've got Malachi Black, who, to be honest, ever since the Aleister Black sort of NXT days, hasn't been able to hit those heights. And I think a lot of people had hoped he was going to hit those highs in AEW, and he hasn't for whatever reason. You've got Buddy Matthews, who, oh my goodness me, what a fantastic worker Buddy Matthews is. And then you've got Brody King, the sort of heavyweight, if you will, in there, but he can also move around really well too. There's such a dynamic there, because any great team, it's a contrast of styles, but any great trios tag team, it's an even more greater contrast of styles. And what you can have with the House of Black is you can have matches that have a bit of everything, that have, high-flying moves, that have great strikes, that have big powerhouse moves, that have, just this frenetic pace that you can't get in any other matches. But if they'd have lost last night to the Young Bucks, you'd question, well, where do they go from there? I mean, there haven't been featured and booked maybe I think the way that people had hoped they would be on AEW television. It kind of felt a bit paint by numbers when it's come to a lot of their segments and a lot of their feuds, i.e. the lights go out, they go back on, they show up, they maybe do something, they leave, or they just cut a vignette on Dynamite the last 60 seconds and they move on, and maybe we occasionally see them. We haven't even really seen them wrestle that often as a trios team. So here's hoping with this we can see more of that. Again, if they'd have lost to the Elite, you'd have said, well, where did they go? Like, what can they do next? And the answer would have been, I don't know, to be honest with you. So last night was the right call. The Elite, of course, they're fine. As opposed to what do they do next? Well, that's a really good question, what they do next. Do they continue to feud with the House of Black over the Trios Championships? Maybe. Do I have an interest in seeing the match again? Sure, because I look around also in AEW. As I said, the crux of any great trios division or tag team division is teams, and I do look around in AEW at the moment and I say, well, who's the next big trios tag team that could really hold the championships? You've got Death Triangle, okay. And I guess Death Triangle versus the House of Black, that would be an exciting feud. But they've just really competed for the championships and they were former champions. So do the Young Bucks continue this feud? Maybe. Now that we've kind of established that rematch clauses can be a thing, that's how the Acclaimed got their tag team title rematch last night, we could see a situation where that happens. But apart from that, the trios division, you got Best Friends, okay, but are they really at the level of a House of Black? Probably not. You don't even really have your Jurassic Expresses anymore. They don't exist because Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, they've gone, their own ways. There aren't, those real top quality ones. The Undisputed Elite, that doesn't exist. Kyle O'Reilly's injured. Adam Cole's just come back. And Bobby Fish isn't with the company. So for I guess the betterment of the division, the House of Black had to win because they had to establish another top heel trios tag team in that tournament. And they've done just that, in my opinion. So again, I think that was absolutely the right call, and I would assume that we might see a rematch at some point, or we could just see a situation where Kenny Omega goes back into the main event. We've spoken about what's Kenny Omega going to be doing in his AEW future. Of course, we do know that he's going to be going back and forth with New Japan Pro Wrestling because the feud with Will Ospreay isn't over. In fact, as we get closer to Forbidden Door in June, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Omega versus Ospreay at Forbidden Door. We saw Omega win the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship on Ospreay's home turf in Japan, inside the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom. We could see also now Ospreay have to challenge Omega on his turf in AEW. So maybe that's what that will happen there. And as far as the Young Bucks, what are they going to do? Well, FTR are back, and FTR are going to challenge for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Maybe it's FTR versus the Young Bucks at Double or Nothing for the AEW World Tag Team Championships again. Maybe that's the direction that they're going in. So it's interesting to see the fallout of this. Again, I think it was the right call. Certainly, I think it was the right call. And it's going to be interesting to see, no doubt, what happens with the AEW World Trios Championships as we move on. But there you go, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the House of Black becoming the brand new AEW World Trios Champions last night at AEW Revolution. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And remember, you can join the WN365 roster by clicking that join button, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.